episode of Cooking in Nanook Lodge is what I call Carron on the Road. I'm going to share a recipe that I've concocted based on some of our travel adventures that Shelly and I have had. We were fortunate enough last year to go on a cruise around the Caribbean, and one of the stops was Jamaica. It was our first time there, and we got to go to this little barbecue shack where they gave us some roasted goat and some grilled jerk chicken. So I came home and I tried to perfect that, kind of get those flavors back from memories. It involved a bunch of allspice and some limes and a whole host of other ingredients, and of course chicken wings. It is football playoff time. Super Bowl's just around the corner, and who doesn't love a good wing for some football playoffs? So today's episode, jerk chicken wings. Jamaican jerk chicken is one of those things that I bet if you asked any Jamaican grandmother, her recipe would be different than the recipe from the grandmother down the road. What I'm putting here together is something that I think in memory makes me think of what we had when Shelly and I went to the Plantation Smokehouse at Ocho Rios that day from the cruise. If you ever go to Jamaica, they'll sell you stuff like this. I bought some island spice Jamaican jerk seasoning, but we're gonna create our own today. And really it's got some heat, jalapeno. In Jamaica they use a lot of Scotch bonnet, but we can't take that kind of heat and I don't want that. We've got some lime, some citrus, and orange, and then allspice and thyme. Those are kind of the key components that I've sort of done my research on. And then the rest of it is all just added accents and things I've played with to really kind of recreate that flavor in my mind. Let's take a quick walk through everything I have here in front of me to make the marinade for the wings. It will also become the sauce as we cook them. As I said, we start out with some citrus. I'm gonna use lime juice, a little bit of orange zest and orange juice. We've got some other liquids here. We've got Worcestershire. That's my homemade stuff. A little veggie oil, some soy sauce. We're going to use some onion, both yellow and green. We've got some fresh thyme. We've got the jalapeno, as I said, not Scotch bonnet, too hot. Then for some spices, we've got salt and pepper. We're going to add a little bit of smoked paprika to give it a little bit of smokiness to it. And then we've got cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg, as well as this allspice. I've got these berries here because I don't have any ground, so I'll put them in my spice grinder and grind them up. And then for just a touch of sweetness, just a little bit of brown sugar. So let's prep everything up and make the marinade. There are a lot of little bowls of stuff here, but it's really not that complicated. It's just a lot of measuring. The only thing you really have to prep up are the vegetables, juice the limes, and make the orange zest. So I've got all my dry spices here. We've got the onions and the jalapeno here, all just rough diced because it's gonna go in the food processor and just get pureed up. We've got a little bit of brown sugar, which is just gonna add a balance to this. It's not gonna make it sweet. It's just gonna balance all the spices. Soy sauce and Worcestershire, and our vegetable oil. So the food processor will take care of putting this all together, and then we'll marinate the wings. Got our marinade here from the food processor, and I've got my wings here in a Ziploc bag. I like to allow about a pound of wings per person with the bone in there. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna save just a little bit of the marinade for basting as they bake in the oven, maybe about a half a cup or so. And then the rest of it is all gonna go in this bag. We'll just seal this bag nice and tight, and then we'll shake it up really good. Let that marinade get all over all that chicken. Then in the fridge it goes. It's best to marinate this overnight if you have time, but if you don't, give it at least 2 or 3 hours. Let the marinade soak through and get all good flavor in there. All right, we've got our marinated wings, a little bit of reserve marinade. Off to the fridge they go to marinate, and then we'll bake them in the oven and have a great snack for the football game. Our wings have been marinated overnight, and we are ready to get the wings in the oven. I've got a sheet tray here lined with parchment paper, and the parchment paper just helps keep the mess down a little bit. We're gonna throw the wings on the parchment paper and then put them in the oven. We'll let them go for about 20 minutes or so. We're gonna turn them all over, and then we're gonna baste them with the extra sauce that we saved here. using about a tray and a half for the chicken wings, just because I didn't want them all squished together so that they had a chance to cook on all sides in the oven. Our wings have been in the oven for 20 minutes. What I'm going to do is just flip them all over, and then I'm going to take the sauce and I'm going to brush them and baste them all, put them back in the oven for another maybe 15 or 20 minutes until they reach 165 and they're cooked fully. Time for a little brushing. This just gives it a little bit extra flavor that kind of bakes on the outside as they finish up. Back in the oven they go. Wow, does that smell good? Ooh, brings me right back to that place in Jamaica where we had jerk chicken. We had such a fun time on that rum, reggae, and jerk tour. We met some people from all over the country. There were some kids there from the University of Michigan. They had a lot of fun with the rum part of the tour, but my favorite part was the jerk chicken. And this plate is just a beautiful rendition of what I remember that we had there in Jamaica. It smells so good. You can smell the allspice and the thyme. And it just, I can't wait to dig in. These are some great wings for your football watching. Thanks for tuning in to Cooking at Nano Lodge.